Hello! I've modded a lot of iPods in the last year or so. Look at them. With varying levels of success. I understand how difficult it is when starting out to wade through the information and guides online, as there is so much info out there. A lot of the guides won't answer all your questions, so I thought I'd share a few things that I learned through experience. So without further ado, let's dive in. Tip number 1 is check the guide. This guide by Yuiko has become my Bible for iPod modding. The link to the guide is in the description. I know there are other similar guides out there, but this is the one I use. It has so much useful info. I recommend checking it before attempting any mod. If you dive in without checking it first, chances are you'll miss something important. For each generation of iPod Classic, it will tell you if there are any limits on size, storage capacity and batteries, and even gives recommendations on adapters, casings and compatibility of different components. Which leads me on to tip number 2, compatibility. Check and double check which parts you need for a mod. Some iPods have a limit to how big an SD card they can take. Some batteries won't fit in thin back iPods if you use certain iFlash adapters. Ensure the connector of the adapter you're looking at on AliExpress will actually fit your iPod model. The guide can help with this, but you need to pay careful attention to the description of the listing, or you can easily end up wasting money on the wrong adapter. I speak from experience. If using iFlash adapters, check the compatibility of the SD cards, because not all brands have been found to work with them. Tip number 3 is something I haven't seen mentioned in any guides, but I found out the hard way. If you buy a replacement front plate for a 5th generation iPod, it is likely to be made from cheaper, softer plastic than the original. This means it's easier to scratch, which I found out by accident when I put my beautiful green modded iPod into this seemingly harmless iPod sock. Immediately it put marks and scratches on the screen which can't be fixed. So be careful out there, even socks can cause damage. Speaking of damage, tip 4 is to be extra careful when opening your iPods. You generally need to use tools for this, and it is so easy to slip and scratch the casing with them. You can see here I've done it a few times. These are iPods I'm keeping for myself, but if I was planning to sell them, this would have been a problem. I also realise I need to practice opening minis with something other than a screwdriver, so I only have myself to blame for this one. Staying with the theme of being careful, my final tip for this video is to treat the iPod mini click wheel connector like a priceless artifact that belongs in a museum. When I first started out, I didn't realise how delicate they are, and I managed to break a few of them while unplugging them from the board. If you pull on the end of the connector ribbon, you're likely to break it as the connection is very delicate. For this reason, I recommend you watch my video on how to mod an iPod mini and use my safe technique for unplugging. It can take a little longer, but the wait is worth it, as if you break one, it is not easy or cheap to find a replacement part online. You may as well just buy another iPod mini. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. I have many more tips to share with you, so look out for the next video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya!